Yeah. So I need to mute Emma Krishna Prabhu, if you don't mind. Hare Krishna, dear the host. Can you make me as a co-host? At least I can run something. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept our respectful humble obeisances, Maharaj. We are so fortunate to have you, Maharaj. And thank you for accepting our invitations, Maharaj. So this is our first Bhakti Shastri group in English, where we have our own institute after 30 years in Malaysia. So thank you so much to accept our invitation, Maharaj. So dear student, I would like to introduce to all of you His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj. Is one of my teachers, basically. And Maharaj was taking birth on 8 June 1957, and he was become a full-time in 1982 in Laos and Nigeria. And he took his first initiation in 1985 in the same place, and also second initiation after a year. Then Maharaj take a sannyasi in 25 March 2005, Mayapur, India. And currently Maharaj is work as a GBC for West Africa for +5 years, and also become a spiritual master in 2011. And Maharaj have written so much of books. So one of the book is Understanding the Dynamic of Guru Discipleship in June 2019. And Maharaj also a teacher of Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, and as well Bhakti Vedanta in Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education, VHE, and also Mayapur Institute, MI. And also facilitate numerous seminars on the practical aspect of Krishna consciousness philosophy, such as a community building, self-sufficient, etc. And Maharaj also preaching in various countries in Africa, Brazil, Mauritius, India, Thailand, and United States. And also farm community, Maharaj is in a project of Ghana and Nigeria. And Maharaj known for his immunity, gravity, deep knowledge of the scripture, is the first African sannyasi and Diksha Guru, spiritual master in ISKCON. He grew up as a Roman Catholic from very young age, and he was very spiritual minded due to his ardent desire to understand God in his creation. He studied Bible intensely. The Guan sisters for spiritual answer in his young associated with many spiritual groups such as Rosicrucian Order and Mysterious Society. Read all the Lobsang Rampa books, practically Atta Yoga with representative of Royal Guinea device, and also correspondent with spiritual organization founded by 𝐤𝐻𝐺, meaning an America cycle. He regularly teach Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhava, as well Bhakti Vedanta in Mayapur Institute, as well Vrindavan Institute. This is how I know Maharaj. Maharaj also is my first teacher who are teaching me Ishopanishad class during Bhakti Shastri 2018. Where Maharaj was quoted, where it's still deepen in my mind. Maharaj said that how to read the book. Then he said you shouldn't read, you need to hear. So thank you so much, Maharaj. So I like to welcome Maharaj with humble. So on behalf of all, thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Can we start now?
Yes, Maharaj, you can start now, Maharaj.
Okay.
Maharaj, can you excuse me, Maharaj? I have other services engaged with teaching. So other web, we got Amrita Mataji here, and as well other co-hosts to facilitate, Maharaj. Can you hear me, Maharaj? Am I audible, Maharaj?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Want me to do something?
No, Maharaj, I'm just seeking your permission to leave, Maharaj.
Yes, you can
Thank
do.
you.
We didn't bring this now.
Yes, on the room.
Yes, you can go ahead. No hearing.
Yes. Are you able to hear them? Are you able to hear them?
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Please proceed, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
So let us start. Jai Radha Madhava
Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari
Jai Radha
Kunja
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvarodari Jaya Gopi Jana Dhira
Krishna
Mataji, freezer vechita.
Jagadguru Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Hari Vrajagacharya Stutara Sata Sri Srimati Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Kuri Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Namo Acharya Sri Haridas Prem to wish Krishna ki Nanya Bhavanita Nanda Vita Gadada Siva Bhadi Gaura Bhakti ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinanda Shyam Sundara Vrinda Giri Garavardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Mathura Dham ki jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki jai. Yamuna Mai ki jai. Ganges Mai ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Jai. Ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Gaura Premanandi.
Hari Hari Bol.
All glories are some good devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories are some good devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Glories are some good devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glory to Shri Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Gaura Karana Sakti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanandana
Salakaya
Chakshurmilitanjena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manishtam Sthapita Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupanam Yadiswa Omdikam Bandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yudhapadatam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sarvadatam Sarvanam Raghunathandikam Tam Sahitam Sadvitam Sadhutam Vidanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Hare Sabagana Radhika Shri Krishna He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Stuti Tata Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishlavanu Sudhiri Kamamaki Aditire Vanchakalpataru Vyascha Kripanam Sundhiri Patitanam Pavanidhu Vaishnavidhu Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastani Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad-gita cities ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We are looking at Bhagavad-gita chapter 7. The knowledge of the absolute. I know some of you are new to my study. So you may have some difficulties understanding me, but if you listen carefully, and what you desire to hear, Krishna will help you to understand my words. And even if you have the difficulty today, when we continue to associate, the subsequent classes will become familiar. Then it'll be easy for you. So don't be disturbed. Even if you don't get me for the first time, gradually we become used to each other. And then you will have it easy. And as we are speaking, if I say something which you did not understand, don't keep quiet and don't ask somebody else. You should ask me. Because I'm the one who says no, so I'm the one to defend it. If you ask somebody else who didn't say such things, they have difficulty in explaining it because the person will not have the moods that led me to say such things. That is why, see, all our chariots, they can speak what Krishna has in mind when he says certain things. Because they are connected with Krishna. They enter Krishna's heart, they knows. Someone who does not have that ability will not be able to explain what I have in mind to say that. So please ask me. And I will try to explain it. Yes, Prabhu. Your hand is up.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, Maharaj. Maharaj, just wondering if it is possible to increase the volume, Maharaj.
Okay.
It's not very, very clear, Maharaj, the voice.
Okay.
Is it possible, Maharaj?
Yes. It's possible.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Is it better? Is it better for you?
Now it is better, Maharaj.
Okay.
Over here.
It's left. It's right.
Here.
Hare Krishna. I think Guru Maharaj
It's not showing it. We are still making adjustment.
I cannot hear also.
Just wait.
The voice is lacking.
Is it?
Has it improved? Can you hear me now?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, little improved, but like I guess echo, there is an issue in echo. I just can't hear something.
Here.
சொல்லுங்க ஜெய்.
Oh, so that is this one.
நமஸ்காரம். கிளிக்கு தான் கூட்டு போனோம். ஜெயகுரிங்க அந்த மெடிக்கல் லைசன்ஸ் காசு இருக்குல்ல, எடுத்து போய் மருந்து போட சொல்லுங்க.
You can speak now, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I think you can proceed, Maharaj.
It has improved.
Yes, improve. I think.
Better, Maharaj, better.
Maharaj can continue, Maharaj. Hare Krishna
Now
Maharaj.
it's clear. Now it's clear.
Now it's better.
Clear, Maharaj.
Okay. I want you to put it. All right, so chapter 7. Knowledge of the absolute. I cannot see. All right.
Next.
I'll make it once. Is it possible?
Maharaj, please proceed, Maharaj. I think should be the voice is okay, clear.
We'll have to scroll down. If I zoom it, you'll have to hold and move like this. You will have to hold and move like this because I've zoomed it. Press and yes. Prabhuji will do the next from there. We will keep going on to the next, and if you want to just scroll down, you can do it like this.
Go back to the beginning. Beginning. Okay. Bhagavad-gita, chapter 7, knowledge and the absolute. In this chapter 7, this 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulences is described here. Also, all kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna. This 7th unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described in this chapter. Krishna is 6 chapters of Bhagavad-gita. A living entity has been described as unfortunate people in the first capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different types of yogas. Chapters. At the end of the 6th chapter, he has been completed a steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, the Krishna consciousness is the highest as non-matter yoga. That is the end of the real spirit soul, capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different. Connecting to chapter 7, Robert continued with efforts. Different types of yoga are only stepping stones to the path of Krishna consciousness. One who takes directly to yoga automatically knows about Brahma duty and Paramatma in full. By practice of Krishna consciousness yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entities, the material nature, and their manifestations, word, paraphernalia. One should therefore begin yoga practice as directed material nature chapter. Concentration of the mind and their manifestation is supreme, is made possible by prescribed devotional station in 9 different forms, of which Shravana is the first and most important. The Lord therefore says to paraphernalia, one should therefore hear from me. That is in the verse. Begin yoga chapter. In the Bhagavad has explained the connection between practice as directed in the last base of 90%. This is the breakdown for this chapter. The chapter 7 has 30 verses. The first part is covered here. Next. So chapter 7 is 30 verses. And the 30 verses I divided into 6 sections. 6 sections. The first part, knowing Krishna in full by hearing about him. This takes 7 verses. It takes 7 verses. Krishna explained how to know him in full through hearing. And then that is takes 1 to 7. It takes 8 to 12. Knowing Krishna as a source of both material and spiritual energies. 5 verses. Krishna explained this in 5 verses. And 13 to 14, the 3 modes of surrender in 2 verses. That's 13 to 14. Four kinds of impious and 4 kinds of pious people surrender to Krishna. Krishna explained this in 5 verses. Demigod worshippers and impersonalists. Krishna deal with this in 6 verses, from 20 to 28, and from 20 to 25. And then lastly, 26 to 30, in 5 verses also. Krishna explained bewilderment and freedom through knowledge. So I'm asking all of you. When Krishna was speaking this Gita, he simply spoke. Right? Krishna was speaking.
Guru Maharaj muted already, cannot hear. Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, your mic is off.
To make it very clear for our understanding, is it also the Acharya who number 8? Krishna did not tell that. He was Vedas. Thank you. That is the duty of our chariots, to make something easy for us to understand. So Krishna didn't number all of it, but he is a compiler. So he knows all the details. Therefore, he did all this, giving in chapter 1, chapter 2 to 18, and other acharyas, Bhakti, Vidyabhushan, Vishnu Chakravarti, they also give the numbers to all of them. So we have all the details. Is it not better like this? Because many many of us have read the Gita many times, but after studying it with other devotees, we have a better understanding. We have a better understanding. Why do we have such an understanding? It's because of the mercy of acharyas who have made things very easy for us. Just like the Prophet has connected, is always a connection. So chapter 6 endward, Krishna telling us the highest of the yogis. This is the devotee who constantly meditate upon him. And chapter 7 begins from Sri Bhagavad-gita. Let's read the sukha together. Mai asaktamara parakta yogam yunjan madashrayan asam sayam samagramam tata gyasya sitat shirinu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. In chapter 6, Krishna said, and of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abide in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. And now Krishna said, I will explain how this yoga process works. In other words, Krishna does not leave us alone. He didn't just speak philosophy without explanation. If you look at Bhagavad-gita very carefully, you see in chapter 3, Krishna told Arjuna, representing all of us, to work, and he gave the consciousness by which this work should be done. He didn't just tell us to work. He made it very clear that, like a manager of a director of a company, appointing as a manager representing one of his centers, he will give all the facilities necessary for you to execute your duty. So here, Krishna is telling Arjuna to work, and he gave him the consciousness by which this work can be perfectly done for his satisfaction. This is Krishna, a perfect teacher. So Krishna mentioned here, we should hear. Krishna says we hear. Hear not from anybody and anybody. See, hear from the authority. Krishna is the supreme authority. So if we hear from him, why we should hear from Krishna? Why we shouldn't hear from other people or hear from other sources? What is the importance of hearing from Krishna only? Why should we hear from Krishna only? Want to say something?
Because Krishna is absolute truth.
He's the absolute. He is the supreme authority.
He is the supreme
He is
personality.
the creator. He is the creator himself. He is the supreme authority. Very good. Yes. Why we should hear from Krishna? My question, when I ask question, it is in the purport. All my questions are in the purport. The answer is in the purport, not outside. That is why we should read the purport before we come to the class. Read the purport carefully before you come to the class. Then you'll be able to answer my question. No one can be a greater authority than Krishna, and therefore by hearing from him, one receives the greatest opportunity to become a perfect Krishna conscious person. One has therefore to learn from Krishna directly or from a pure devotee of Krishna and not from a non-devotee abstract. That is how we should hear from Krishna. Because hearing from him, yes, he is a supreme creator, he did everything. But there are also many Christian expansions who create so many things as well. But here Krishna is speaking. Hear from me and my pure representative. And Prabhupada said, touch renewals in the purport. He explained it. No one can be a greater authority than Krishna, and therefore by hearing from him, the greatest opportunity to do what? To become a perfect Krishna conscious person. This is the reason why we should hear from Krishna. If you don't hear from Krishna, we will not have this opportunity because they may not have this quality of Krishna. Speaking Krishna consciousness is different from one is speaking for the maintenance of his own body as a profession. That is different. It does not carry the potency. If one is teaching for money, and one is teaching for, like the philosophers, their sense gratification is not gross. There's philosophers, the intellectual people, writing poets, speaking the philosophy, it gives satisfaction, it gives pleasure to the Gyanis. That is how they get their satisfaction. So a Gyani can speak, a materialistic person can speak, but a devotee of Krishna, when he speaks, is different. They carry different potency. Because a devotee is speaking for the benefit of hearers, not because he has ability, not because he's a scholar, it's because he loves the audience. He's speaking for their benefit. Krishna is speaking for our benefit. So he says, hear from me, because he's speaking for our benefit. And in chapter 18, he concluded Parambhacha, the supreme authority, the word, is from Krishna, because he's our well-wisher. So he can speak, and you can hear from him. Next. The hearing is very important. The first of the 9 processes of Bhakti is Shravanam, hearing, and Kirtan, chanting, Vishnu Smaranam, remembering, Pada Sevana, saving, Archana, offering worship, Vandana, offering prayers, Dashyam, becoming a servant, Sakyam, becoming a best friend, Atma Nivedana, surrendering fully, full surrender to Krishna. These are the 9 processes of Bhakti, as we find in the 7th canto, chapter 5, text 23 and 24, spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Hearing, Prabhupada has given He's speaking to Arjun, so Arjun is hearing him. But he's telling Arjun emphatically, hear me.
Maharaj, you are mute.
Can't hear you now, Maharaj.
We can't hear you. Hare Krishna Maharaj, we can't hear you. You are mute.
We can be doing so many things, but the mind is not there. The mind is at a different place. So Krishna knows this. He's asking, hear me. In other words, Krishna is drawing our attention, to give him attention, so that he can penetrate the consciousness. And by penetrating the consciousness, the purpose will be served. So we'll hear of Krishna and get purified and become a perfect Krishna conscious person. Prabhupada said we shouldn't hear from the upstart. So hear from a devotee of Krishna. Right? Next. Only by hearing. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures, or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad-gita is itself religious activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, act as a best well-being friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. A devotee who constantly engages in hearing, not sometimes. We should constantly hear about Krishna. We should hear always about Krishna. We mentioned this morning, Srila Prabhupada established this society for hearing. We should hear. And we have been advised that we should hear from sadhus, even if they're not speaking to us, it doesn't matter. The importance of hearing is so powerful that just sitting and hear, even if they're not talking to us, but just hear them, you get all the necessary purifications. Like what happened to Narada Muni. They were not speaking to Narada. He was simply sitting down and hearing what they were discussing. They were talking among themselves. And Narada was simply sitting there and hearing. And he became one of them. Just hearing. We should give importance to hearing. Like we have Prahlad Maharaj, he's speaking to his demonic associate. He turned all of them into devotees by hearing. They asked Prahlad, in this our compound, you have not gone outside. And we have not gone outside. How did you get this knowledge? Where did you get it? How you got this knowledge? We are all together here every day. How did you get this? Did somebody come from our enemy, the demigod? They came from somewhere, disguised, which we didn't see. We have a lot of security guard all around here. And no demigod can come here. So how did you get to know all these teachings that are given to us? So Prahlad said, my fortune was that while I was in the womb of my mother stayed with Narada Muni. In the womb, Narada spoke all these things to me. That's the fortune. So we should be our mothers should be very careful when we are pregnant. We should be careful what we hear. Should be careful with our environment. Should be careful with what we eat. Should be careful with what we think, how we feel. it will affect the child. As Bhakti Muni became crooked, not that somebody, he didn't have accident. In the womb, he was not feeling comfortable with the recitation of his father. So why my father, I can't recite this verse nicely. When he came out, he was crooked. Because for 9 months, for 7 months, he was turning like this inside the womb. He came crooked in the womb. Prahlad also, he got this thing from the womb. He got his Christian consciousness completely in the womb. When he came out, no demonic knowledge can enter him. He is already, how do you say, vaccinated. Naramuni vaccinated him. So with Krishna consciousness, when he came out, he was completely indifferent. Nothing else can enter him except Krishna. This is hearing. So we should give attention to hearing, because that is where our success is. And Prabhupada said, the essence of association is to hear. That's the essence. To hear is the essence of association. Not to sit close together. I can sit here, we can sit here together, and my mind is far away from you. That is not association. That my body is here. It's not association. Association is where my mind is, wherever I am. So we should give importance to hearing and hear from the devotees who have our interest in their heart. If we hear from them, it is sure that we will become a pure devotee. One has therefore to learn from Krishna directly or from a pure devotee of Krishna, and not from a non-devotee of state, puffed up toward academic qualification. That is not hearing. This is a powerful instruction from Prabhupada explaining this verse. Next. Complete knowledge. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spiritual behind it, no, the spirit behind it, I'm sorry, and the source of both of them. This is transcendental knowledge. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in disciplic succession directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes and the only objective for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known and nothing remains unknown. This is Krishna consciousness. One of the reasons why we left the Christianity as we were practicing before is explained in this Bhagavad-gita. In the Bible which I studied, there are so many unanswered questions, many. So it doesn't satisfy the soul. So intelligently, one knows that this is not a complete knowledge. But here, Krishna said, when this knowledge is gotten, you will see that nothing is left to be known. And Jesus himself specifically said, I have been speaking to you in Proverbs, in parable. There are many things which I have not told you yet. But Krishna said, I have told you everything. There's nothing to be known after knowing this knowledge. So this is what? Raja Vidya. So we left. That's one of the reasons why I left Christianity. And I came here. It is scientific. It is scientific. There is nothing to be known. This is knowledge. Knowledge includes everything, both the material, the spiritual, and the source of both of them. This is knowledge. If we don't know the source of what we have here, the material and the spiritual, they are not independent. They are depending on someone. Who is that person? That is Krishna. One who has this knowledge knows everything. One who knows Krishna knows everything. There is nothing left to be known. Who knows everything. When the Bible says there are many things which I have not taught you yet. Many things which you don't know. And it is true. There are many things which we don't know. But we know everything. Radha Shamasunda is here. Only have Radha Shamasunda. They are complete and perfect. This is importance of studying Bhagavad-gita. 7-2 purport. Right from the beginning of the purport, Prabhupada explained that. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world. What is phenomenal world? What is phenomenal? Phenomena. Phenomenal world. I'm going to say nominals and nominals, phenomenal. Yes, not just material world. Phenomena means that which can be known. It's a substance. It is practical. It's a substance. You can identify with it. This material world. So material world, we can feel the material world, right? It is not false. The material world is not false. We are here and we are feeling it. There's so many varieties here. So we cannot say it is false. There are so many objects here. It is temporal. That is our Acharya's understanding, which is perfect and complete. If a devotee come to you and say, Prabhu, I'm having terrible headache. That is false. It is false. Just go back. This is false. How would that devotee feel about you? I have a perfect president who is very caring. Yeah, philosophy. Yeah, philosophy will be good for you, but not how many people are going to understand that? You are telling me I'm having severe headache, migraine, and I'm feeling pain, and you're telling me that is false. Is that correct? Is that knowledge? No. So our Acharya did not say it like that. It is temporal because yesterday you were not having headache. So today we have it. Tomorrow, it will not be there. That is how it is temporal. But it does exist. So the material world is existing and we are experiencing it. So it is not false. It is temporal. This is knowledge. This is knowledge. And what knowledge? Absolute knowledge. What is absolute? What is the definition of absolute? Absolute truth, absolute knowledge. What is the definition? Absolute. Yes.
Finite, Prabhu.
Always in existence. It never changes. It is always in existence. Past, present, and future. That is absolute. It does not change. That this material world is temporal, it cannot change. That the soul is eternal servant of Krishna. It cannot change. The Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. It cannot change. It is eternal. It is absolute. This is absolute knowledge or absolute reality, the supreme personality of Godhead. It will not change. It's eternal. Time and space cannot affect it. That is absolute. So our Acharyas, they gave us this knowledge. So it is a complete and perfect knowledge because it reveals everything. Therefore, Krishna is calling your attention. Listen to me. Hear me. And in chapter 9, he's going to say, Krishna is going to say, I'm giving you knowledge and realization. It is I'm giving you knowledge. I'm giving you knowledge and realization. If you know this, you'll be free from the dualities of good and bad, pious and impious. This is absolute knowledge. It will not be affected by time and space. Nothing can change it. Always at different times. This is how something which is consistent. Krishna is consistent in all his dealings. He's consistent in all his dealings. So he's absolute. There's native Godhead. He cannot change. Therefore, this knowledge is important. This knowledge cannot change. It's absolute. Next. Gyan is what? Phenomenal. They give us knowledge about this. That is material world. Come. It's coming. Somehow gone down. Yes. Complete knowledge. This section, complete knowledge. Gyan about the phenomenal world. Krishna's material and spiritual energy. The theoretical knowledge. This is and then began, that is luminous, the spiritual. So give us spiritual knowledge about Krishna's personality and his sweetness, which is a realized knowledge that you find in chapter 9 and then upward. Next. Material energy is Maya Shakti of Krishna. We do with material nature. And there we have earth, water, fire, air, ether. Then these are gross. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. This 8 element, both are material. The 5 is gross. The 3 is subtle, but both of them are material. Some people have developed their consciousness to understand I'm not this body, but they still have difficulty to understand I'm also not the mind. They still know that, yeah, I'm the mind. But you should know this is material. So we are also not the mind or the intelligence or false ego. Both are material. It had to be transcended by the practice of Krishna consciousness. And then we have the spiritual energy of Krishna, which is the Jiva Shakti and the living entities. The living entity, yes. The living entity, which is of a spiritual energy, is dealing with the material energy. In ignorance, we are thinking that we are material beings trying to become spiritual. That is ignorance. Srila Bhakti Thakur said that we have been Jadva Dharma. He said, we have been associating with material energy so long a time that it has come to the point where our secondary nature has become the primary nature. And our primary nature has become a secondary nature, which is true. Everyone in this material world, who are you? We're going to describe our body. Even among devotees. A few days ago, I asked some devotees, what is your height? And everybody started to say 5 feet, 6 feet, 4.6, 8.5, 8.9. I said, my brother, this is not in Gita. Oh, what I've said like this false. It is lie. It's a lie. Everything you say now is not in Gita. Your Gita said what? 1/10,000. That is our size, not 8.5. You see, our material body we are calculating. We are measuring our material body. And that is why false ego comes, because I'm thinking, see how big I am. So false ego come like that. But if you know our size, that the pure devotees are naturally humble because they knows our position. And we are falsely proud because you don't know our position. I'm thinking I'm 6 feet tall. So I'm this big. But Bhagavad-gita said that is not true. We are not that big. We are very, very extremely tiny. And what is the reason? What the reason Gita is giving was our measurement. What the reason Krishna is? Why? What the scripture is giving our measurement? But why our measurement is given? What's the reason?
Because of the Atma.
Yes, it's to help us. It's to help us understand we are twin significant. We are twin significant. So by nature we are humble, but we know we are twin significant. We are not what we think we are. We are really insignificant. So the scripture take time to give us our measurement so we can say, oh, this is what I am. So I'm so insignificant like this. They will be humble and approach Krishna sincerely. If you don't have this understanding, our approach to Krishna will not be a sincere approach. It will be based on false ego. We come to Krishna with pride. We will not succeed. When we come to Krishna with the head bowed, that is the beginning of human life, to offer the head to a superior person. This is a process of becoming humble. When we know what we are. So the pure devotees, they are aware of this. They know this. Therefore, they are naturally humble. Naturally. But not fools. Not fools. Sometimes weakness is taken as humility. It is not weakness. But naivety is taken as humility. It is not humility. Humility is different. That we are bold and submissive. That's humility. One is bold and submissive. That is humility. To be bold is not arrogance. It's not arrogance. Bold means I am ready to say the truth anytime, anywhere. That is boldness. Submissive means I'm not proud of saying it. It is necessary to help resolve a conflict. So it is necessary. That is humility. We are ready to tell the truth anytime to anybody without being afraid of punishment or being crucified. That's humility. You can say it anytime. All right? The conqueror of world is not true superior to me. It's not true superior to me. Arjuna is a conqueror of world. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. All of us see the garland I'm wearing. This garland. beautiful, nice flowers, and artistically made, very artistically made. So we appreciate the devotee who made the garlands beautiful. We appreciate the nature who has made this flower available. But what's the most important thing in the garland? The thread. Thank you. Who sees the thread? Have you seen the thread? No. So does that mean that the thread doesn't exist? Huh? It does exist. If you remove the thread, there's no garland. Similarly, we may not see Krishna, but that does not mean that Krishna does not exist. He is behind everything that's in existence and beyond existence. He is beyond everything. But some of us are not seeing that. That does not mean that there's no God. I don't see, I don't believe. What is our strength to see? Proper challenge. What is our strength to see? We should see through the ear, not through the eye. As we're talking about hearing. The perfect way to see is through the ear. The acharyas, they will plant Krishna in our heart through the ear. It will come to the heart. That's the proper way to plant Krishna. So we have so many pearls here. What is the beauty without the thread? They are scattered all over here. But once you bring the thread inside, so Krishna is the thread that makes the garland important. So Krishna makes the material and the spiritual existence important. Without Krishna, nothing has importance. So it is appropriate that Krishna is saying, I am the thread that make the garlands important. The pearls are important. Without the threads, there is no existence. Without Krishna, nothing has importance. Nothing has significance. Krishna makes everything significant. Prabhupada gave an example that material world is what? Billions of billions of zillions of trillions of zeros. To make it meaningful, just put one behind the zeros, become billions of dollars or rupees. Remove the one, it's nothing but zero. So if we remove Krishna from our life, we have no existence. So Krishna is telling, touch renew, listen to me so that you can understand what I'm teaching and make it your life. Yes. Knowledge of the absolute. Knowing Krishna as a source of both material and spiritual energies. 8 to 12. Material element and their qualities. Water is taste. Sun and moon, light, ether, sound, man, ability, fire, heat, ascetic, austerity. Go down. Sorry. Okay. Intelligence, intelligent, intelligence. In this material world, all the gross items we see in this material world, everything gross in this material world, how does it come? What is the source of all the gross things? I'm not talking about Krishna. Material, in this material cycle. Yeah. Right? Body, yeah, also be Buddha. Yes. What is the origin? Yeah, the sound. Sound. Sound originated everything. It's on the sound that ita became gross. So ita is a gross form of sound. So if this element is missing, we will not hear. We have problem with hearing. It means element is missing in the sound. If we will not hear. And then when the ita become yes, when it become advanced, then it turn to air. it turn to air. And when the air become manifest, what's the next thing? Yeah, the fire comes. So in our eyes to see, what's the element? It is fire element. It is air element. Then we can see. So if this element is removed, we have problem with sight. So you cannot see without the glass. Some element is missing. This is how all the material elements come to the gross on earth. Earth is the most condensed one. And then intelligence comes inside, and yes, these are the material elements. Yes. The king Krishna is beyond the mood of nature, the three modes of material nature. He is not within the three modes of material nature. He is above the nature. So one of Krishna's name is Triadish. He is the Lord of the trees, the Lord of the three modes of material nature, the Lord of three planetary systems, the Lord of the three Vishnus. Is Triadish. This Krishna's nature. It's still within the modes. For instance, under the state laws, one may be punished, but the king, the lawmaker, is not subject to that law. Similarly, all the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are emanations from the Supreme Lord, Krishna. But Krishna is not subject to material nature. And that is why the material energy look real, although it is temporary, but it look real. Why? Because it's coming from Krishna. And because it's coming from Krishna, it's very strong. Very strong. Krishna's illusory energy, very strong. I can control even the jiva who are of spiritual energy. But Krishna himself is not affected by the mood because he made it. In the material world here, everything we made will influence us. Everything. How do you feel when you misplace your cell phone for a moment? How do you feel? Happy? Huh? You feel? Separation. You feel miserable. Oh, my phone. So the phone is controlling us. That is our nature in the material world. We are influenced by the things we have created to enjoy. We become influenced by it, become conditioned by it. But that is not the situation with Krishna. Krishna is not controlled by the mode of nature. He controlled the mode of nature. He's the master of the mode of nature. And his devotees who are under his full shelter are also above the nature, natural nature. Therefore, Krishna is Nirguna. Nirguna does not mean no quality. Yes, he doesn't have material qualities, which means that those gunas or mode, although issuing from him, do not affect him. That is one of the special characteristics of Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Bhagavan. He controls everything, but nothing controls him. That's how the Brahman describes it. He causes everything, but nobody causes it. He is the cause of everything, but nobody causes it. He causes everything. He's the cause of everything, including himself. So nobody causes it. It is himself. That is the nature of Krishna. Knowledge of the absolute. The three modes are controlled by Krishna. Therefore, we should surrender to Krishna. Tightly tied. Oh, I cannot see. Surrender. Tightly tied by the rules of illusion. Our existence. But Krishna is not on the mood. It's above that. Four kinds of impious persons who do not surrender to Krishna, and four kinds of pious persons who surrender. Who are the four people that doesn't surrender to Krishna? Go to the next. Okay, let's chant the sloka. Sloka 15. Chant the sloka together. Yes. Namam duskritam bumudha papadyante naradama ayaya pahrita jnana asuram bhavam ashita. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. So we have the four kinds of miscreants here. Grossly foolish, mudras. Lowest among mankind, Narada. Deluded speculators, Maya Paharitagya. And professed atheists, Asura. Grossly foolish. One does not have interest in Krishna. The Mudas are those who are grossly foolish, like hardworking beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruit of their labor by themselves and do not want to part with them for the supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. This humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. He remains satisfied by filling his stomach with a bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being beaten by his master, and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. He has sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this betraying sound only disturbs others. This is the position of the foolish, fruitive worker who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that action is meant for yogya, for sacrifice. Why do we work so hard in this world? That we don't have time for Krishna. Why do we work so hard that we don't have time for Krishna? What is the reason why we work so hard? There's no time for Krishna. What is it? Material happiness, fear of the future. Because we want to gratify our senses. We want to gratify our senses. But have you ever seen someone who have actually gratified the senses? Can we mention one person? I'm fully contented and complete. We see any person like that anywhere in the world? The billionaires are working very hard. Billionaires. They're not going to finish their money this lifetime. Even generations of their family members, but they're still working very hard and have no time for Krishna. Why? It's ignorance. Ignorance. If everyone here knows scientifically that if I do this, I will suffer, will we do it? No, we will not do it. In ignorance, thinking that we want to be happy, want to enjoy, we are creating problem for ourselves. That is ignorance. It is not satisfaction, it's not enjoyment. It is because we don't know the consequences. Anyone who knows scientifically that I'm going to suffer if I do this will not do it. Because we are all expecting to have a joyful life. Nobody wants to suffer. In ignorance, everything we do in the name of enjoyment ends in suffering. It's ignorance. So our suffering is due to ignorance. Because you don't have this knowledge, Bhagavad-gita. So Krishna is giving this knowledge so we can be free from unnecessary suffering. The sages and Namisharan, they told us in Bhagavad-gita. Anaratopa-shanam shakshat bhakti yogam 𝐤𝐬𝐳. Our suffering in this material world is 100% unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. But we are suffering. Why? If it's unnecessary, why are we suffering? Because we don't know. We don't know. We are thinking we want to enjoy, and we do so many sinful things, and suffer without enjoyment. And this is going on. So Krishna is said, Mudha, grossly foolish. Like the ass. Ass is carrying heavy load for grass, which is all by the side. You can eat them without carrying load for somebody. There are so many grasses everywhere that the ass can eat without having to carry heavy load for the master. But in ignorance, we're thinking, yes, I'm enjoying my life if I carry this load for the master. I will suffer. And for that, when you enter our street, what is happening? People are running everywhere, different directions. The animals are running with the 4 legs. We are running with the 4 tires. Every day here and they breaking our head just to go to hell. It's what it is our advancement. We're working hard to go to hell. Is that knowledge? It's ignorance. It's ignorance. Therefore, in chapter 14, or Krishna, chapter 14, text 2, Krishna said, Idam Gyanam Upashritya. Please, let us take shelter of this knowledge. And Krishna gave the reason. If you take shelter of this knowledge, you seen it? Yes. Means what? Mamas Saldaramya. We will attain Krishna's nature. Which is Krishna's nature? Satchidananda Vigraha. That is Krishna's nature. Krishna is promising us. If you take shelter of this Bhagavad-gita, what will happen? We'll attain to his own nature. And what happened to us? We will not come again to this material world. When Krishna is creating and destroying, it will not be a problem for us. A journalist asked La Prabhupada, Swamiji, he thinks he's very, very, he thinks he's very, very powerful. Swamiji, so if everybody followed this your teachings of your Krishna and have gone back to Godhead, so what will happen to this world? He had been known for being a sarcastic moderator. He would intimidate whoever he interviewed. So devotees didn't want Prabhupada to go there. Well, Prabhupada said, I will go. I will go there. He's preaching. I will go there. So the devotees were very, very worried. This man is going to embarrass our guru. But Prabhupada said, I will go. He's preaching. I don't mind. Let him do what he wants to do. I would go. So he went. He was asking these questions. Towards the end, he asked this question. So Prabhupada looked at him very carefully and sat himself also very carefully. And he told him, don't worry. Fools like you will not leave this material world. That was the end of the interview. The devotees were very sure what is going to be the reaction from him. But Prabhupada kept his cool. And he ended the interview. So he left the station. The devotee was silent in the car. Until they go to the temple. Then Prabhupada turned the devotees and said, I'm an old man, so I can do that. The fools and rascals, we are not going to leave this material world. So there is nothing like this material going to be empty. And even if everybody become a devotee, what is our problem? What is our problem? If everybody become a liberated soul and go back to Godhead, what is our problem with that? Why is that a problem? Because you are mudras, it's a problem. Otherwise, for a devotee, it is joy. Joy. Our job has been done. That we have liberated the whole world to go back to God. It is joy. Be happy. Is it not? When Srivas Thakur said, when people join our movement, when people are joining our movement, what should we do? Should be happy. Our family is increasing. This is how a devotee will feel. So we should be happy that we are going back to Godhead. So our job is done. Krishna will be happy with us that we have liberated the whole world. What should we do with that? Second, right? Send everybody back to Godhead. What is wrong with that? But because we are beasts of burden, we will not appreciate this. So Krishna is making it very clear why Krishna is speaking this. Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, a devotee. He's speaking that we should also check our Krishna conscious life if it falls within these 4 categories. We should check ourselves. We have mirror to look at our face, right? What is a mirror to look at our heart? What is a mirror to look at our heart? The scripture. This is a mirror, right? Here is the mirror. You can see where we are by looking into the verses of Gita. We can know exactly where we are. So Krishna is giving this knowledge, a knowledge of the absolute. So we know exactly where we are. We should not be on this as category. The next stage is lowest of mankind, Narada. Another class of duskriti or miscreant is called the Narada, or the lowest of mankind. Nara means human being, and Adama means the lowest. Out of the 8.4 million different species of living beings, there are 400,000 human species. Out of this, there are numerous lower forms of human life that are mostly uncivilized. That means 1,000. Out of 400,000, 200,000 are still subhuman. So it's reduced, not 200 remaining. Principles must be considered Naradamas. Nor is religion without God religion. Because the the purpose of following religious principle is to know the supreme truth and man's relation with him. In the Gita, the personality of Godhead clearly stated that there is no authority above him and that he is the supreme truth. A civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousness of his eternal relation with the supreme truth, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is all powerful. Whoever loses this chance is classified as Narada. We get information from revealed scriptures that when the baby is in the mother's womb, an extremely uncomfortable situation, he prays to God for deliverance and promises to worship him alone as soon as he gets out. To pray to God when he is in difficulty is a natural instinct in every living being because he is eternally related with God. But after his deliverance, the child forgets the difficulties of birth and forgets his deliverer also, being influenced by Maya, illusory energy. And different cultures are imposed on the soul. You are from this tribe. You should eat like this. You should dress like this. You should not dress like that. This tribe, they are our enemies. Don't identify with them. So this ignorance, this demonic ignorance is injected into our consciousness right from the beginning. And we grow up like that, to think about other living entities as our enemy. From the beginning, this culture is given, demonic culture is given to the soul. So we don't take interest in Krishna consciousness. So it's Narada, lowest of mankind. And the next is deluded speculators, Maya Pahrita Gyan. Intelligence is stolen. To manufacture this is not intelligence. Huh? A foolish person can do this. It requires intelligence to do it. To do this, it requires intelligence, right? So this requires intelligence. See, it is nicely designed. We need knowledge to do this. But Krishna said his knowledge is stolen. How is this stolen that I can still make this? How is it stolen? I can make this. You can make a powerful automobile. See, beautiful bottle. This requires intelligence. But here, Krishna said what? It is stolen. What does it mean? Very good. Thank you. Why? What does it mean our intelligence is stolen? Maya Parita Gyan. Heavy, Boeing aircraft is heavy. It's flying 36 kilometers above the sea level. How is that intelligence stolen when I can do this mighty work? Look at this chair. Nice. Nicely constructed.
But they don't accept the supremacy.
Okay, thank you. You don't accept the supremacy of Christ. Very good. All the material world. Okay, very good. What else? Knowledge about the self is not there. Very good. Very good. Did you understand my question? Did you understand my question?
Can you repeat, Maharaj?
Yes, my question was, Krishna said, our intelligence is stolen. And I'm saying that I have seen so many intelligent work displayed everywhere. That's what I'm saying. I have counted so many things our scientists have made with good intelligence. How can you say the intelligence is stolen? How is it stolen? If something is stolen, you don't have it. Is it not? Stolen means you don't have it. It's not there with you. So how is intelligence stolen when we can make so many wonderful things? That was my question. Hey, Maharishi Prabhu.
Jai Maharaj.
I don't know you're here.
Yes, Maharaj, Chintamani and me, we are here by your blessings and your inspiration doing the Bhakti Shastri, Maharaj.
Haribo, this is very, very encouraging. Thank you.
So Maharaj, the persons who are bewildered thinking there is not personality of God, you know, but somehow or other they practice spirituality, but they don't believe. They are also fall into this category of Maya Pagrita Chetaha.
Thank you. Very good. Yes. Yeah, we should understand what Krishna is doing. Yes, their intelligence is stolen because they have this knowledge to make all these things, but they have no intelligence to understand that who gave me the knowledge to do this? Who gave it to me? Who am I doing? The material, I did not manufacture it. All the ingredients, they are all here. I made them here. I simply tried to manipulate the material energy. Yes, but forgetting the source of our strength, the source of that knowledge, the source of even we, the soul that is doing this, forgetting that in no intelligence. You see, Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is outside the 9 processes of bhakti is a foolish person, have no knowledge. Therefore, Krishna is correct to say that they are bereft of knowledge, intelligence. And the last here is professed atheist. Professed atheist. Professed atheist. Professed atheists are better than unprofessed atheists. No? Those who declare there is no God, profess atheists. They are better than those who say, yes, there is God. You come and I'll cheat you in the name of God. Those who declare there is no God are better. But because at least I know you, I know that, okay, this is your stand. So I will avoid you. But a person who is a cheater, telling me, yes, come for God consciousness, come for God consciousness. And I'm going there and to kill my Krishna consciousness. It's a terrible atheist. It's a terrible atheist. Very dangerous. And we should not follow them. It is happening every day. Every day. Many people want to take to Krishna consciousness. They got cheated. So this day, many people are having a lot of doubts. Should I take to God consciousness? Because taking to God consciousness, so many things are also happening in the name of God. Is it necessary I should take to God consciousness? Because they have seen so many of these cheaters all around. For those who declare amethyst, I don't believe in God. They are better. They are better than those who are demonic, covert demons. They're covert demons. Not that they are good. So Christians said they are not good. Yeah. The last of them is called Asura. Asura. Bhavam Ashita. For those of demonic principles. This class is openly atheistic. Some of them argue that the Supreme Lord can never descend upon this material world, but they are unable to give any tangible reasons as to why not. There are others who make him subordinate to the impersonal future, although the opposite is declared in the Gita. Envious of the supreme personality of Godhead, the atheists will present in a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. Such persons whose very principle of life is to decry the personality of Godhead cannot surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Jamunacharya, Allah Bengaluru of South India said, "Oh my Lord, you are unknowable to persons involved with the theistic principles. Despite their uncommon qualities, features, and activities, despite their personalities being confirmed by all the revealed scriptures in the quality of goodness, and despite their being acknowledged by the famous authorities renowned for their depth of knowledge in the transcendental science and situated in the godly qualities. Therefore, 1, grossly foolish persons. 2, the lowest of mankind. 3, the deluded speculators. And 4, the professed atheists and the unprofessed atheists, as above mentioned, never surrender unto the lotus feet of personality of God, in spite of all scriptural and authoritative advice." Any comments? Any questions? Speaking. Any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
But Maharaj, I have a question. That means these 4 kinds of miscreants, it said that they are never going to surrender to God. So how can we know whether these 4 types of miscreants people, will they have any chance to go back to Krishna?
Yes. What would happen to these 4 kinds of people who never surrender to Krishna? Will they have chance to going back to Godhead? Yes, there is a chance to go back to Godhead, but not now. Now they have to continue with their demonic nature, with the speculation, with all the unnecessary things. After a long time, who will count how long it will take a soul to come to the stage of taking to Krishna consciousness? Padma Purana described this 8.4 million species of life. The evolution that we have to go through to come to human being to take up Krishna consciousness. It is very, very dangerous, very, very dangerous and risky if we don't take to Krishna consciousness. Even looking at what is happening presently, the things are not going up in spiritual quality. All things are going down in good quality. Especially at this time, Kali Yuga, the good things, all the good qualities are going down every day. But the low qualities is coming up every day. False ego is increasing every day, but the good qualities are going down every day. So one should not wait for tomorrow thinking that it will be better. It will not be better because things are going down, down, down. That means that it will take a long time for us to come to a stage Krishna will liberate us and give us a chance to meet his devotee or devotees that will help us to take to Krishna consciousness. It will take a long time. In chapter 16, 19, and 20, Krishna said, the demons, I will give them a chance to appear in demonic families so they will not attain me. So how dangerous it is. We will not attain Krishna. In 9:3 also, Krishna said, those who are not faithful, I will keep them rotating in the circle of betterment. It's very, very dangerous for us to be among these four classes. But devotees are very, very merciful. Devotees are very merciful. So though these people will not take to Krishna consciousness, the sweet will of devotees can help them by chanting the holy name. The Harinam which we do, constant Harinam, proper recommended that we should do constant Harinam. We should do prasadam distribution. If we do Harinam and people will see devotees in the street, Hare Krishna in the street. It's very auspicious. When those people see us dancing in the kirtan in the street, when they leave their body, the material energy will play all the activities we have done for this lifetime. When the soul gets to that point that the soul and give up the body at that time, it will become a devotee. So if we have compassion, let us do constant Harinam. It will help constant Harinam. It will help these four classes of people to take to Krishna consciousness somehow or other. They will take to Krishna consciousness. Just seeing devotees dancing. I have had this experience. We're doing Harinam, and I saw a lady just come. That way will happen to her when she's going to give up the body. When she go to that stage, she will leave the body at that stage and become a devotee. So let us do constant Harinam. We will get so many people liberated in this way. And also when we ourselves become devotees, it's very, very important for us to remain devotees. Because according to Sri Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, a neophyte devotee is so appreciated by Lord Krishna that 3 generations of our family members will be liberated. So even if you have somebody in our family who does not like Krishna, it's okay. Let us continue with our Krishna consciousness. Krishna will help them because we are practicing. These are the ways we can help people who don't have the fortune to take the Krishna consciousness now. We should continue to practice very nicely. And it will become possible. they will become devotees. All right?
Yes, Maharaj, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, one question. How much time we should dedicate to those impious people who don't want to surrender to Krishna on preaching to them? You know, sometimes they are atheists, they arguing a lot. Means on preaching to them, to unfaithful people, is okay, or we should dedicate certain amount of time only, or how?
Those who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, we should not preach to them directly. We should do indirect preaching. If you have chance, we give them prasadam. Prasadam will help them. We get purified. Or, as we said, let them hear the holy name. And also, when we only see people in the street, we should try to smile with the people. To smile with people and greet them. That helped them very much. It looked very simple. We're talking about developing love among devotees. To greet people in the street is very, very auspicious for them and for us also, because when we do good things, we will get the benefit. They will not be able to take direct preaching, so we should not do direct preaching to them. They become offended, and that will disturb them more. So we do it indirectly. Prashana.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes.
Maharaj, one question.
Yes, please.
Maharaj, out of the 4 groups of these miscreants, you're saying, which one have a better chance of being Krishna conscious?
Out of these 4, grossly foolish, the lowest mankind, the lowest speculators, the professed atheists. In chapter 4, Bhagavad-gita takes 9 purports. The Prabhupada said that these speculators, they will have their fortune when they will meet with a devotee. When they meet with a devotee, the message of a devotee will help them to become promoted to come to the stage of Krishna Bhakti. Only when they have association of a devotee. So the speculators will get this message. But the grossly foolish, prasada. the professed atheists, those who were outright demons, I heard from Gauranga Prabhu, one day he said, he gave prasadam to somebody and he said no. I said, Prabhu, take prasadam. He said no. And what is wrong? This is Krishna prasadam. He said no. Then he told Gauranga Prabhu, see, I don't want to take your prasadam because if you take your prasadam, my hair will disappear. I don't want to prasadam. I'm not against it, but I don't want my hair to go. I don't want to be a devotee. That is what he said. I like to continue with my suffering. So we have people like that. But the Gyanis, they have the fortune that show a devotee, they will change. So they stand a better chance than others. All right.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. You can take a break for the day. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad-gita, cities ki
Hare Krishna.
𝐸𝐴. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Glory Premanandi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do I have questions here?